Pretty Little Liars is actually a horror. And it's a horror about teenage girls who are put in a very vulnerable position and then taken advantage of by the adults in their lives. And
hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hate Spinnerbait, the podcast where we hate spinnerbait, but we love Swifties in Sweden, and we wish we were back there right now. Happy 1 year anniversary to our Stockholm Eras Tour show / day one of our amazing trip. To you, Michael Ann, and to all who celebrate. It's just us. We're the only ones celebrating it, but
and everyone else who was at that show, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone else who was at night 3. We're all thinking of you. We're all playing How Does It End today in honor of you, and in honor of our surprise songs. And we are in the book, Stockholm Night 3. We are in the Eras Tour book because the one 1989 outfit that she is wearing, I think is on page like 67 or something. She only wore at our show. So y'all, we made it. Anyways, I digress. Anyhow, I'm Bethany. With me as always is Michael Ann. We are here. We are depressed that we are not in Sweden and we are just living our mundane lives in this country. Dr. Pepper sponsor us and we can move to Sweden.
Please.
But hi everyone. We are here to discuss Once and For All, Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is not a super long chapter, and at first we were like, we can do 2 chapters, but then we remembered who we are, and we're probably going to be a little gabby, and it's just easier for us sometimes, y'all, to get through 1 chapter because we talk a lot. Yeah. So we're here to discuss that and whatever else the whim may take us. 2 reminders, as always, lately when we've been discussing Once and For All, please be warned that this is a book that does involve mentions of a school shooting. So if that is something that you cannot handle right now, we totally respect, and we'll see you / talk to you during a Chaos episode or once we're finished with this novel. With that out of the way, also friendly reminder to watch us on YouTube. We have a YouTube, and we're cutesy sometimes, and Mike Lan adds in really fun edits, and these are the things you're missing out on. If you listened to our last Chaos episode and did not watch it, that was probably a mistake. And you really should have watched that one.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about gala fashion, and I'm sure it was not very pleasant to just listen to. So anyways, check us out on YouTube if you want to. If you want to keep listening to us, that's cool too. With all that out of the way, how is life for you today? I just wanted to rhyme for some reason.
I love that. I love that little jingle.
Thank you. I really tried, you know.
I'm here, baby.
I'm here. I'm cracking up open a cold one.
I am depressed.
I'm depressed.
It's bad. But
it's not funny, but the way you just said it's bad was funny.
It's not good. I'm not having fun.
Not good.
I have my depression hoodie on.
It's so cute though. You do look very comfy.
I am very comfy.
Depression hoodie.
It's a TTPD. You just can't tell.
Yes.
But that's how I feel. I've been watching a lot of Pretty Little Liars, and I want to talk about it for sure.
Gotta see. Can you keep that show is truly the most unhinged thing you've ever seen, correct? Is it just the most unhinged thing you've ever seen? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's both the worst thing I've ever seen and the best thing I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. You're like, this is terrible, and yet I cannot look away. Like, I must keep watching.
And yet I will never stop watching it.
Yeah,
as long as I live.
Just as long as I live. Exactly. I feel that.
I've made it to season... Hold on. This mic is, like, very sensitive. I don't know if you noticed in the last recording. It, like, didn't really sound super good.
I feel like it's very good if you're right on top of it. And
yeah, you got to be like,
yeah. When you go away from it, it's like not happy with you.
Hello.
Some people.
I'll just talk. I'll try to talk closer to it, but what? Oh, Pretty Little Liars. So I am on season 3. Um,
Chugging
season 1 was.
along.
I am. Yes, I have no life as I. That's just the truth. So I am on season 3. I just started it. I know that Mona is like one of many A's. Mona is the one who hit Hannah with her car, apparently, or at least that's what is being said right now. Okay,
Allegedly.
this is the allegedly Mona has some sort of personality disorder, and she's in the hospital, and she is crazy.
How many, off the top of my head, I can't remember how many seasons are Pretty Little Liars. Like, it has 7 seasons. Is that correct?
I hope
I
so.
don't know.
4
I
is not
hope
enough.
so. Okay, wow, I am spot on. It has 7 seasons. I think this is where I have to admit, maybe I'll have to like hop on when you get to the same point. I think I gave up after season 4 or season 5. I can't remember. Season 5?
Interesting.
So I have honestly never watched the last couple of seasons. I know how it ends because I am that person. If I ever invested any time in a TV show and it then ends, I have to read like I either will watch the series finale just to like see or at least like read the like recap article about it or something. So I do know how it ends, but I have never actually watched the last 2 seasons. So maybe I'll have to jump in once you get to like season 6 or whatever. So I
Yes.
think I made it through 5. I don't know.
Yes. You'll have to let me know. I'm currently on 3. Melissa's still a suspect. Mona's in the hospital.
Mona.
There are just so many great things. Like the first couple seasons are really the best. The first 2 so far, I've enjoyed them more than season 3. Yeah. So Ezra and Arya is so distressing from minute 1 onward. It's just like, oh, this is what I was gonna say. This is what I've been planning on saying this whole time. I mean, since I started watching the show, I was like, I'm gonna talk about this on the podcast. This Pretty Little Liars is actually a horror. And it's a horror about teenage girls who are put in a very vulnerable position and then taken advantage of by the adults in their lives. And their adult, like, if you really, I mean, like, this is probably because I'm watching this as an adult, but season 1, their friend went missing, got murdered, and they're being harassed by a stranger. And, yeah, so the first season, they're 15, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were 15 when Allison went missing, and then they found her body a year later. So 16, freshly 16. And they're mourning. They're going through something crazy. They're going nuts. Okay. Not only is Ezra fully taking advantage of this vulnerable girl, which, by the way, they like meet in a bar, and that's supposed to like make it better because he's like, oh, we met
I
in a
thought
bar.
you were older, and it's like, oh, yeah.
No, I've never looked at a 16-year-old and thought you could be 25. So no, they got baby face, baby features. They're babies.
Luna. Sorry, Luna's scratching at the door.
Like, I want to talk about Pretty Little Liars.
She does. She's like, I have thoughts. Looney?
Yes. So Ezra taking advantage of her. He knows that she's a student. They've only hooked up once by the time he finds out that she's his student. And still. So then the whole first season, you're like, okay, they're going to be like secretive about this, right? Like they're not going to be super fucking obvious that they're in a no. They're going to be as obvious as they can possibly be. She is going to like hold his hand in the office in his classroom, I mean, they're going to have like very intimate conversation. It's going to be very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's disturbing. Not only is Ezra a predator taking advantage of vulnerable young girls, but we have a couple more. We have Ian, who was taking advantage of Allison when she was actually 15, people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
15, okay? And I'm not really sure how old. Like, Melissa and Ian are significantly older than them, but, like, I'm not sure.
Like
Because
their
they, like,
exact age, yeah.
right. Um, but anyway, they're older, and I'm pretty sure in that flashback, there's a flashback at one point. They're at a party, and Ian's in a fraternity, so he's in college at least. And yeah, that's gross. And then we have Ren, who preys on Spencer as he's engaged to her sister, which is fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what was I just saying? Oh yeah, Ren. Gross. And then he comes back. He's back now. First of all, he's working in a hospital for mentally unwell children. I feel like that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, this show is so funny because he's like a full doctor. And I was like, maybe I'll figure out how old they are by like seeing how long it takes you to become a doctor. 15 years.
Yeah.
So he skipped some steps because he's definitely not in his 30s.
He's not as old as he should be. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else prays? I mean, Ian prays on fucking Spencer as well. And yeah, I mean, the main players here are Ezra and Ian.
Yeah, for
Really.
sure. I think they're
And
probably.
Ren, now that he's back, especially.
It seriously is so crazy to me that this show is aimed at obviously a young female audience, and yet
Yeah.
it depicts these things as like good. Like you should be rooting for
Yes.
them. And it's just like that's wild to me. And again, like when I originally watched this show, and I wasn't even like super young either. Like I was like, I don't know, like going into college-ish age. Yeah, that sounds about right. But still like a young adult woman, like still a teenage woman. Like I remember being like, oh, this like Ezra Aria thing is like messed up, but like also still kind of rooting for them because they write it for you to root for them.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, oh, but like I root for them. Of course, now that I'm like a grown adult woman, I'm like, that's really ick. And like why did I root for them? And why did they write the show like that? But alas, that is the choices that they made.
Oh no, everybody's gonna see my ugly shorts. I apologize.
That's okay.
Willow wanted to come in and I love her so much. Yes, yeah, they write it to be like something you're rooting for, and that's especially egregious in like end of season 2, early season 3, when Arya's parents find out about them and they're fucking pissed because they should be.
Right,
And
exactly.
Dad tries to get him to take a job in Louisiana, which like everyone gets mad about, and I'm like, I probably would have. I would have been trying to get that guy as far away from my kid as humanly possible.
I'm
like,
gonna
this
go
is a predator
on record and say that my dad probably would have killed him. He would have been like, "I'll pay my time in jail. I'll have deserved it, but I'm just gonna kill him."
Right? Like it's so gross, and then it's just her parents are pissed. They don't want her to see him, and like we're all supposed to be like, oh no, but they're in love, but it's true love.
But they love each other. And again, I'm not saying that like I don't know if they met up in 10 years that it would be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem. But at the time that they are meeting up and in the power dynamic in which they are under, it's a big effing problem.
It's a big effing problem. Yeah. Right. Like an 11-year age gap, for example. That's your age gap, right? 11 years? I don't know why I just whipped that out of my ass.
Yeah, it's a very like specific number. We're 9. We're 9 years. But yeah, like about a decade, you could say.
Yeah. So like that is not a big deal when you're like 27 and 37. But when you're like 12 and 22, that's kind of fucking weird.
Real
you know what
creepy.
I mean? Like
real creepy.
Of course, age gap relationships get to a point where it's like fine. But when they're children, like it's not.
Yeah, it is
and
a problem.
It's gross. And I'm pretty sure I know that they end up getting married, which is like I can't
Wow.
even
It's a
I
wild
can
concept from where they started.
yeah. And I'm sorry, but you're still a pedophile, even
Yeah.
if you marry your victim.
Yes. Exactly. No, I agree. Wholeheartedly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I want to apologize to everybody listening to this episode. I am unwell. And because of my unwell status,
Mm.
my ADHD is it's taken over. It's got Jesus has taken the wheel and so has
Jesus,
ADHD.
take the
Fuck
wheel.
Carrie Underwood, by the way.
Fuck
I'm pissed
her. Actually, yeah, but like
that
seriously, fuck her.
yes, I'm pissed that Good Charlotte performed on American Idol. So Carrie Underwood gets to see Good Charlotte perform, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Go on tour. Rude.
Yeah. It seems rude. That's rude. Really? You know that it's from Death Becomes Her, I think, on Broadway. And it's like whatever all over TikTok. And she's like, that was rude. That was really fucking rude. Anyways, I've seen so
Yes.
many of the TikToks that it's like my go-to response now. And I'm like, oh my God, am I one of those like annoying Gen Z people? Or not Gen Z, Gen Alpha, I guess really is more the people who does this. Sorry, Gen Z. I did not mean to throw you under the bus like that. Also, Gen Alpha, your children. It's fine. Keep doing you, your kids.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the little middle schoolers who just like repeat memes to their teachers all day, I feel like that. But I keep being like, that was rude. And I'm like, oh no, I really mean it, but it's just so stuck in my head. So I
Yes.
apologize if at any point I just say that tonight because it's in my head. Like everything is just that was rude to me. I can't help it. I apologize. And yes, yeah,
You signed up for this, guys.
you did. You signed up for this.
Uh,
May I just
um,
say, sorry, go ahead, finish your thought. I feel like it was
I
probably
don't know
more
what I was gonna
on
say.
point to my point.
Definitely
My
not.
point. This is the beginning of the episode where we just ramble about whatever we want. Okay, sorry, we're gonna get to the chapter like any minute now. It's fine. But anyways, my random thing that I was gonna say is we here at Hate Spinnerbait talk often about how we hate Spinnerbait, but we love little weirdos. And find yourself a little weirdo. We love Sarah Dessen with her loping walks, little weirdos. My little weirdo, absolute sweetheart. Last night, I told him that I was going to be upset. I knew preemptively that this episode of television that I was going to watch was really going to upset me. And I was like, I'm really upset. And I was like, I'm going to go upstairs and like curl in a little ball and whatever and be upset. And he's like, okay, I'm downstairs if you need me. And I'm like, thank you. And then because he's such a sweet, sweet boy, he let me come downstairs after crying upstairs and cry to him and talk to him about a show that he does not watch or care about, but he knows that I do and just what I needed to get this out. And then we have this weird obsession. There's this song called Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies is the name of the band. And Body Count, which the lead singer, for anyone who's not familiar with Body Count, because I wasn't until I started dating my husband, is Ice-T. It's actually a very sweet story. One of his friends really got into guitar and wanted to play guitar and like play heavy metal music, but he didn't have a band to join. And Ice-T is like, I'm mother effing Ice-T. Like, start a band with me, even though Ice-T is obviously not known for metal music. And so, yes, on the side, when Ice-T is not doing everything else that he does, he fronts this band. Also, his friend could like play guitar in a band, basically. Anywho, they
I
did
love
a
that.
rendition of this song Institutionalized. And this one part is basically like his wife comes in and is nagging him because he's playing Xbox. It's a silly song. And she's like, you need help or whatever. And so she's like talking about something about like Oprah says. And he's like, fuck Oprah. And his like Ice-T voice. And it's the funniest thing to me. And like Mike and I will just say that to each other. Like, and I was like, fuck Oprah. Like I'll be like, yeah, seriously though, fuck her. Thanks for Dr. Oz, you know? Anyways, so last night he was just like, there I am crying, and he's just like, fuck Oprah to me because he knew it would make me laugh, and it did. So that was great. That was a really long story. But anywho, this morning, again, this is not a real issue. I mean, I have whatever, there are real issues going on in the world. I am dealing with real things, but I just like, you know how it is. Like sometimes you just like, you want to watch the thing that you know is going to give you that cathartic like cry. And so, anyways, this morning, literally woke up and he's like, how are you doing? He was like checking in on me this morning. crying, and I'm like, I think I'm okay. I'm like, I'm gonna make it. But yeah, again, just PSA: find you a little weirdo who will just be like, "Fuck Oprah" to you when you're upset.
I love that.
And check in on you the next morning. What a real sweet, sweet boy that he is. Nice, what a sweet boy. Nice little sweet boy.
Little sweetie. Little sweetie Petey.
So yeah, that's just that's my 2 cents for everyone.
I will say about Pretty Little Liars is I do like that they have a gay. And they've had a gay since like episode 1.
Yes.
We love.
Very true. We do love that. Yes.
And it's Shay Mitchell, and Shay Mitchell is a goddess. A goddess. Like, I didn't watch Pretty Little Liars, so I didn't meet Shay Mitchell until she was like an adult, like a grown adult. She was in a couple shows I watched, like Dollface.
I also that you said meet, like you like personally know her.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't meet her until that's so cute though. I like that. I didn't meet them. I wasn't acquainted with them until
no. But I wish I met her.
Alas.
I love her. I'm obsessed with her. She's like literally so beautiful. She's like,
she's very, 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 very beautiful.
So it's fun to see baby Shay Mitchell like
look at
be
her
bopping around.
Little nugget. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think Pretty Little Liars, we obviously have discussed other teen shows where it's like randomly in the second season, they're like, should one of our characters like be bi-curious? Should one of them be a lesbian? And then they drop that storyline like real quick. Like they let them like fool around for a little bit and then they're like, no. And I like the Pretty Little Liars like really, stuck to their guns on that. So we respect.
And they hit a lot of good queer like life moments. Like she comes out to her parents react horribly, but then they end up coming around because some old man is like bullying her. Some old man is like, this is DEI. Like literally, like he's like
literally. That's literally it though.
He's like, she only won against my daughter because she's gay. And it was like, she's just a better swimmer, actually.
That's not how this works, actually.
Also, fun fact, your daughter's gay too, because she ends up coming out of the closet after she tries to stay in the closet aggressively, which we've all been there. All the gays.
Yeah, all the gays.
You obviously.
I was just like, yeah. I was like, no, not something I can relate to, but a relatable experience to many queer people. Yes. Mm-hmm. I was just like, yeah.
And I had so many friends. Like, there was another thing that was tripping me out about as the Ezra thing is like, at some point they have to like sneak around and like use other people's phones and like all this stuff to get with each other. Yeah. And that did make me chuckle a little because when I was in high school, my friend was in a relationship her mother did not approve of with another woman. And the fucking FBI, like Secret Service shit that we pulled so that they could talk to each other and see each other. Like we should have won some sort of award. What kind of award? I don't know. But we could have all gone into Secret Service after that. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
Burner
FBI
phones.
Should have been recruiting you.
Yes. So I was like, oh, that's relatable because that I've literally had to do that. But like a lot of that's what's so creepy. It's like so many of the high school storylines are like hitting high school so perfectly, and then it's like Ezra is supposed to be like,
yeah, we're supposed to root for this.
Also, my friend Emmy is watching. Our friend Emmy. Is watching.
Friend of the show, Emmy.
Friend of the show, Emmy. Shout out.
Shout out.
She started rewatching it as well. And she sent me a picture of Aria in Fitz's apartment. Ezra's apartment. And she is holding a magazine that he has in his apartment, and it is an American Girl doll magazine. And I'm like, oh, that's Ezra's.
Why does he have that in
Playboy.
his apartment? That is so wild.
Mm-hmm,
Another reason why
mm-hmm.
he's definitely like a pedophile.
Right. Like,
Gross.
what are you doing with that catalog,
What are you doing
sir?
with that, sir? What are you doing? That's so
Somebody,
weird. I would have never noticed that. That's crazy.
I know, I
So
didn't
funny.
notice it either. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad you sent me that because that's hilarious.
That is so funny.
It's also gross.
Yes.
It makes me wonder if like somebody on the show was like, I know exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah, maybe one of the writers was really pushing for like it to be real. Like he was like they're like, no, I want this to be like he is wrong. Like he is a bad guy, and they're like, I'm gonna sneak this in. Like someone
Yeah.
like it was a woman who was like decorating that set and was like, you know what
Yeah.
we're gonna do? Like she was like, I am very opposed to this storyline, and I'm gonna kind of sneak some things in here. And then no one noticed. And they just had them, yeah, like live happily ever after. But it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Disgusting. But yeah, those are like my main takeaways right now, I think. The dialogue's insane. This was
Yes.
especially true in the first few episodes of this show. There's no rhyme or reason. The emotional beats are sporadic. They make no sense. The dialogue's insane. Like they come back at you, like somebody will say something normal and then one of the girls will just say something so fucking crazy, like Spencer. Melissa's like, I would hope you would be happy for me. And Spencer's like, well, you know what they say about hope. It leads to despair and misery. And then like walks away. And it's like, what?
Okay.
But they get a little better about it, unfortunately. But like the dialogue stays crazy. But the emotional beats get more understandable, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
also
Little
my
Liars. Don't you ever change.
don't you ever change. Also, as I am on season 3, episode like 5, I think, at this current moment in time, my favorite characters are Hannah and Emily.
Okay. Yeah.
And Emily is mainly because it's Shay Mitchell. Like, there's not really anything else
There's
to that.
another valid reason.
Um, I just love her. I
I
love seeing
like
her like early career.
I like your honesty, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to explain it.
Also, she's gay, so it's like,
You know,
obviously.
obviously. Exactly. I get it. I respect it. I think that those are valid choices. Yeah, I just never, and like, I don't know, those little Pretty Little Liars fans out there, PLL fans out there. I don't know. I never was like a super huge Aria fan. Like, I don't dislike
No.
her, but like, I was never like super hyped to like see her storylines. Like, she was never like my favorite of the girls.
Yeah, she's like a little, well, she starts the show in a serious relationship and then is in a serious relationship for the entire
Yeah.
show. So that's like
Yeah.
kind of boring, you know?
Exactly.
They, obviously they add a little bit of excitement because he's an adult and she's a child, but yeah, her storyline isn't very interesting to me. I think her parents are fine. I mean, I don't like her dad. I don't think I like any of the dads. I don't think there's a single dad I'm rooting for.
Hmm.
Oh my God, doesn't Spencer's mom look exactly like the woman from SVU, Law and Order, SVU?
Like
They could be
Mariska
cousins.
Hargitay? I
Yes,
haven't
they could
seen
be
Spencer's
cousins.
mom in a while. I'm now gonna need to look her up. Okay, hold on. I've got her. Oh yeah. Oh, you're so right. She really does.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, they could
Be
definitely
related.
be like related in some way. I 100%
Hmm.
agree. Yeah.
It's extremely unhinged as well that whose dad's name is Byron?
That's
Spencer? That's
Arya's dad,
Arya's
I
dad?
think. Right? Yes. Yeah. I think it's Arya's dad.
What a fucking insane name for them to
Insane.
choose.
Absolutely
Byron?
insane name. Byron.
Everyone has like pretty normal
Byron.
names. And then we got a Byron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holly Marie Combs, of course, though, is an icon. She was in Charmed.
Yes. I was
And
like,
that
charmed.
is one of my favorite shows. So
Iconic.
I'm due for a rewatch on that, to be honest.
It's on TNT somewhere right now. I'm sorry.
It honestly.
Probably is.
Um,
Bless Charmed, honestly.
It's so good, so messy. Another crazy show from the early
Yes.
aughts. And
Yes.
also fuck Alyssa Milano. Fuck you, Alyssa
Yes.
Milano.
Seriously. Fuck. Oh my god. Seriously. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
I think I think that Toby and Spencer are very cute and age
Yeah,
appropriate.
I feel like I liked their relationship. From what I can remember, that yeah, and like the early seasons, I was a fan.
Yes. And I'm also a fan of Hannah and Caleb, but I'm
Yes.
worried about them. I'm worried about them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where I'm at right in the story right now, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Also, poor Hannah is like in denial about Mona. I feel the worst for Hannah because Mona was like her legit friend for like
Yeah.
before she even met Allison. So I'm at the mind fuck she's got to be going through is
I know.
insane.
Oh, Hannah. I'm a Hannah fan for sure.
I like
Full
how
show.
she's like she just says what she just says it, you know? Everyone's thinking it, she says it.
True.
Um but like Mona hit her with a car, like poor Hannah. Poor Hannah.
Oh, Pretty Little Liars. Pretty Little
Also in
Liars.
Lucas is giving me has been giving me since he showed up on my TV screen incel vibes. Like he got
Mm.
legit mad at Hannah because she wouldn't date him.
Yeah.
And um now he's like part of this situation and I'm like, of course. Of course he
Yeah.
is.
I
So
agree.
that tracks for me. But those are
I
all
could,
my
I could,
thoughts.
I can see that. And those are my. I feel like it should have like a theme song, and that's Michael Land's thoughts on Pretty Little Liars.
Doop boop boop.
She's got a secret, and she's gonna keep it, but she's gonna spill her thoughts. Okay.
I've never kept one of my own secrets, not a day in my life. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
I'm an open book, baby.
Open book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Same, pretty much. I can't. Listen, we're two ladies with anxiety. Like, we can't be keeping secrets. That would stress me the fuck out. Like, I can't. No. Mm-mm.
No.
Too much anxiety.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 6. We're doing it, guys.
Here we go, people.
We're here. If you're here for Destin, it's happening.
It's happening now.
It's fine. It's happening now. Okay. Quick recap, I guess, of sorts, real quick. Main character is our girl Luna. She has a friend named Jilly, and Jilly's got like a weird family situation. Her parents are like always busy working, and she's basically like having to be a parent to her younger siblings. That sucks. Luna doesn't know her dad because he died when she was a wee little nugget. Her parents used to be like vegan hippies, and now her mom's like capitalism, baby. And she is a wedding planner, which Luna's kind of sucked into the family biz, and they have that's he's kind of their found family. William is her mom's friend slash business partner, and that's basically kind of the man in her life. William and mom both are, even though they're in the wedding business, do not really believe in love. Luna is just graduated. There's a guy named Ambrose, and he is giving very much Sarah Dessen boy. And he's kind of a hot mess express, but we are charmed by him. And we have recently learned that she had something obviously going on with some guy. What happened? Something bad happened. And the last kind of chapter, we've kind of sussed out that he may have died in a school shooting. So yeah, that brings us to chapter 6, which again, once and for all, is a little bit of like a non-linear storytelling kind of situation. We do have some flashbacks that kind of fill in little bits and bobs. And so chapter 6 starts out basically we're flashing back to when they met, which we had kind of previously discussed in another chapter, when her mom let her off a little early, when they were doing a destination wedding. And I believe they were in Colby for this. Correct me if I'm wrong. That sounds right. Yes. It's been a minute since I've read that chapter. But yeah, so here we are. That's what you missed on Glee. This is, or Once and For All. And this is chapter 6. She's out on the beach, walking around. And she says, obviously, it is dark as it happens to be at the beach. And she says, if he hadn't been wearing that white shirt, bright almost to the point of glowing, I might not have even seen him, but he was. The boy who asked me to dance standing by the water's edge. I couldn't miss him. No more than that. I can never picture him in anything else. Which is, I don't know why I just like love that paragraph. Because again, like a few times she's kind of alluded to the fact of like, what if like he asked me to dance, then he like asked her like, what if I wouldn't have gone out to the beach, if I wouldn't have gone up to him, like I could have saved myself all this heartache. And then here's another like instance of that where she's saying like, if he hadn't have been wearing that white shirt, like I probably wouldn't have even seen him. And I like the I can never picture him in anything else. Like he's forever frozen to her now, like that night on the beach, the way that he looked then. Which is obviously very sad because again, like he's never gonna like get older now. Like she's never gonna get to see him again in another way. So now he's kind of forever stuck in her mind from this night. She then says that even more surprising, he saw her. She says that if you see someone on the beach at night contemplating the ocean, like you don't exactly interrupt, like you know that they're like off doing their own thing and you just kind of leave them be. And so he happens to see her though and asks her if she's all done for the night. And she says, it's funny little details you remember from the things you cannot forget. The sand cool on my feet, the weight of my shoes shifting as they swung in my hand. And again, that shirt bright in contrast to my own black dress. So dark, I wondered later how he'd even seen me at all. So again, just kind of like these are things that are really stuck with her forever. And so she's like, yep, you know, I like got off kind of early tonight. And this kind of surprises him because he's like, man, early. Like, I guess that's what happens when you're in the wedding business. Like, this seems like pretty late to me. And so she says, she says that weddings take a lot out of you, or so I hear. And he's like, oh, like aren't you at tons? Like, wouldn't you know? And so she says like, it's different, like working them and like being a guest or being involved in the family or the, you know, the bridal party or whatever. And so this is where we learn a little bit of information about him, which is that he has a bit of a northern accent. So he's probably not originally from North Carolina. And that he mows yards for his job. So he's like, oh, like I can't relate. I mow jobs for a living. For a living. He's a kid in high school, but you know what I mean? Like his part-time job, I should say. Did I just say mow jobs?
Yes.
He mows lawns for his job. I don't even know, y'all. Oh my god, my brain is so fried.
2025, baby.
2025, baby. I like this exchange because again, this is like classic Des and Vance, where she asks him, "That's not emotional," and he's like, "Maybe for the grass." I think that's so funny.
I love this little convo that they have.
Yes, I was like, this is so like the banter they have here is so just like classic Sarah Dessen, like, you know, whatever, like relationship banter.
Yeah.
So I just think that this, yeah, it's so cute. And she's like, so he's like, oh yeah, like the world of landscaping is fascinating, except for the fact that it's totally not. And then they, you know, again, they're like kind of off on the beach, but the wedding is still going on behind them. And so she's like, oh, like your family's having fun. And he says, my dad's family. And so then he kind of realizes that he like comes off kind of harsh. So he sort of apologizes for that and tells her that it's complicated. And she's understanding and is like, yep, usually is. Again, she works weddings. Like she has seen all the complicated family dynamics, and her own family is, you know, obviously a little complicated, as you know, most are. And so he asks her if hers is, and she says not really, which I was like, yes and no, sister friend, but all right, way to like downplay it. And so he's like, oh, like I get it, like you're still on the clock and you're just like counseling me because I'm a guest who's like gone AWOL at this wedding. And she's like, no, like that's not it at all. And so kind of explains her family dynamic, which again is that it's her mom and William. And he asks about William, and she's like, oh, he's basically like my father, except like he's not at all like my father. And explains obviously what happened to her real dad, all that jazz. Then, of course, this guy feels like he's put his foot in his mouth and he's like, whoops, sorry about that. And she's like, it's totally fine. I had no relationship with him. Like, I honestly didn't know him. Know him? Oh my God, 2025 strikes again.
2025, baby.
So yeah, she's like, I honestly didn't even really know him. So it's fine. Yeah, I don't even know. I forfeit. Okay. So they do all of that, blah, 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 blah. This is where he explains his situation, which he says that him and his dad used to be super close. And then 3 years ago, he ditched my mom for his secretary. Oh my God. Such a stereotype. It couldn't even be original about cheating, which it's like, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So of course, kind of some platitudes are exchanged there. She's all like, I'm sorry. And he's all like, not you're bad. And so she asks about like how his mom is. Oh, she's fine. Like she's, remarried too. And then she asks him how he is. And he says, not quite there yet, even though I did agree to take this road trip with him to this wedding and be a groomsman. It was supposed to be this big rebonding experience. Don't know how well that's going, clearly, because he's out on the beach in the dark. So anywho, she's like, yeah, how's that going? And he's like, I don't know. Like, you tell me. Again, a little mysterious. So they shout for him. This is Ethan. Of course, we've kind of learned that already, but his family's trying to get him back in. His aunt is, trying to get him to come back inside. He says that she's personally taking the estrangement between him and his father very personally. And this is where he asked her name, and this is how I know that we are for sure. Okay, we've been told the audiobook pronounces it Luna, but when she says Luna and he says like the moon, I was like, we are for sure pronouncing this correct. It is 6 chapters in, y'all, and I'm still doubting it every time I say her name. I'm like, I hope I'm saying her name right. So she asks like the moon, and this is where she has to fess up to him that it's a combination of her parents' names. Again, they're vegan hippies, and he's like, that's a story I would love to hear. And she's like, oh, like, too bad. Like, you have to get back because your aunt's calling you. And he's like, yeah, too bad. Except they don't go back. Because nothing can stop young love. So anywho, they decide to swoop on down, continue walking on down the beach. She says, I didn't even hesitate. So much of life is not being sure of anything. How I wish later I've been able to savor them, those few steps and moments when for once I just knew. So yes, they walk for a while, for quite some time, and she kind of realizes that he obviously, with his history, is also like sort of cynical when it comes to like love and marriage and stuff. And he says that he says, I don't not believe in love. I'm just not sure about marriage as an institution, which is fair. That's cool. So he's not like completely jaded, but he's like, oh, like, sure, I think love probably exists, but I don't know about the whole, marriage thing. So she tells him again in reference to her parents, maybe you'll be the more barefoot chicken keeping lifetime partner, but no ring kind of person. Which it's like, yeah, that's cool. Respect that. And so, this is where we do, in fact, learn that he is from up north, because he says that he is a guy who's from New Jersey who plays lacrosse and mows lawns. So we've learned a little bit more about Ethan. So, yep, she is correct. She is from up north somewhere. And so, yeah, they continue, going along or whatever. And this is where we kind of learn that Luna is the opposite of him. Like, he's like, I don't believe in marriage, but I do believe in love. And she's like, I kind of think the idea of marriage is not a bad idea. But it's like the love part that I don't really, completely understand. She does say, though, that her friend Jilly's parents, the food truck people that are always working, that can't parent their own children because of it, like, they have a great relationship. And she's like, if only everyone could be like that. And Ethan kind of agrees, like, yep, if when it works, it works. And so this is where Luna, oh yes, please,
before we move forward, I want to point out this part where after he says that thing about New Jersey and playing lacrosse.
Yeah.
He laughs, throwing his head back, and she said, "You had to love, or okay, maybe just like, a person who could revel in the humor of something so fully. It made me want to laugh too." I just love that. I think it's like, there's so many like little tidbits in this chapter that I'm like, oh, beautiful
Yeah.
imagery, beautiful character building, and
Yes, I
tragic.
agree. Yeah, yeah, so like I just feel like again, like they they're just meaning, right? So like their conversations, I mean, they actually get pretty deep pretty quickly, which is so like that is so like first love teenagers. Like I feel like teenagers don't really do small talk. Like they either like are going all in or whatever. So like that just seems like very like true to me. Um but yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, this chapter, like they don't talk a lot, but I feel like we learn so much about Ethan just from like this very brief, like little bit. Like, yes, obviously we learn like little things like, oh, he's from New Jersey, but I mean, like kind of how he is as a person. I feel like you kind of really start getting to see, which is like, I don't know. I just think obviously shows the craft of um our girl Sarah and like how
Our
good
girl
she is
Sarah.
about just like getting and again, just like between their like little bants in the beginning and then when they get more serious, like just yeah, it's I don't know, it's beautiful. Um, but yes, so this is where Luna kind of basically says that like because Ethan's like, yeah, like when it works, whatever. Like he's like not really bothered by like the ins and outs of love. Like he just believes like if you love someone, you love someone. And she's like, that's entirely too vague for me. I need to know how it works, preferably with diagrams and bullet points. I want a guarantee. And he says, wow, that's a big ask, which, yeah, of course, like
Yeah.
nothing is guaranteed. And so she's like, it is, but some people get it right. And so she's like, my mom like wouldn't be in business if that weren't the case, right? And he's like, I don't think anybody ever really knows what's going to happen. We're all just out here hoping for the best. And of course, obviously, this is written by an author who knows that this character is not going to make it. But so it's like, of course, we're doing so much of that kind of like, oh, like you just never know. But I do think that that's really true. And like, again, like that's a thing of like grief is it's like, again, there's so much of like, oh, well, if I hadn't fallen out of the beach, if I were, da, 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 but it's like, but you did, and yes, it didn't last forever, and again, it might not last forever because of like a much lesser reason. Again, most high school, teenage love doesn't last, and it's for very like silly reasons. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't like worth going out to the beach, so to speak.
Right.
Taking a chance on it or whatever. Um, so yes, so Ethan's all like, yeah, like it's like worth hoping for the best, blah blah blah. And they're again just kind of walking along, and she says like they literally go so far that like basically like the end of the beach, they've like reached the end. And so Ethan kind of sees that we're kind of wrapping up here because they have no way or further to walk. They have to start kind of going back the other way in the direction of the wedding. And so he's like, here we are at the end of the world. And she's like, different than I expected, which again is like another good like cute little bands thing. And then he says big stuff always is, which again then kind of more like poetic. um so there she says then that behind them they hear the swell of music, and he's kind of caught by the wind. And he walks out like a little bit further to kind of almost like where the sand and the water meet. There he is in that white shirt. And he says, okay, I'll ask once more. I promise, want to dance. So we go back to, of course, how they just met earlier, which, like, God, Ethan, you little romantic. Like, I love
I
this. I was like, oh my
know.
God, how could you not swoon? I'd be like, yeah, I want to dance.
Yeah.
So she says, in my memory, the answer is yes. But in retrospect, everything is perfect, as are all the other details of this night. At this moment, though, everything was brand new, including the way I felt as I stepped forward, locking my fingers into his, and he pulled me in closer. Me and Ethan dancing in the dark at the end of the world. It was like I'd waited all my life to have something like this, and I knew even then at the start that it would be hard, so hard to lose. The big stuff always is. But yes, I like this. Like, could I hear the music still? And my memory, the answer is yes. But in retrospect, everything is perfect, as are all the other details of this night. And it's like, yeah, like in actuality, like I mean, yes, it was a lovely night. You're falling in love. This guy is like a total cutie and a romantic who's, at the end of the world is asking you to dance. But like, that's so true. Like, obviously, like we all see things in rose colored glasses. Nostalgia. It's a bitch. But yes, I love that sentence. Like, of course it was like in my memory, like, this is exactly like, of course I could still hear the music and whatever. When like in actuality, like, no, you probably couldn't, but like you didn't care because like this cute boy had just asked you to dance and you'd had like this lovely night with him. Um, and then it's just sad because obviously we know how it ends.
I am crying.
Yeah. I'm just having a little cry over here.
My high school boyfriend is also dead.
Yeah, so it was like this one hits a little close to home.
Yeah, I'm unwell lately.
Yeah.
But yeah. Excellent writing as always from Sarah.
Gosh, Sarah, honestly. But yeah, y'all, grief. It's a bitch. Like,
It
truly.
fucking sucks.
It's the worst. And yeah, if you I don't even know. I was gonna like find a thing to say, but honestly I have nothing to say except for it really fucking sucks. And this book is both beautiful but difficult for that reason. And I hope that y'all enjoyed our discussion of chapter 6, Pretty Little Liars, other random thoughts that we felt the need to share with y'all on this beautiful 1-year anniversary of Swifties in Sweden.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, all right. Any other wrap-up thoughts that you have for us, Michael Ann?
No. I gotta go.
I gotta. All right. We are gonna wrap this up. Please take care of yourselves. Maybe take care of yourselves better than we are. I don't know. We're trying our best, y'all.
Good idea.
Stay hydrated. Find yourself a little weirdo that makes you happy, whoever that, in either a platonic way or a romantic way. It doesn't have to be romantic. And we love you all. Yes. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.